Hello and welcome to the Georgian Book Club. So I'm finally here with the partnered episode that we are doing with Janice. So I know that was a while ago, but I will link to Janice's video so you can have a look at that. And we're looking at a book that is a little bit different, and so this is probably going to be a bit of a shorter video due to the nature of the book. But before we get to that, remember there is our shop which has our books and writing services. Then there is also our Redbubble shop that has over 100 designs. So if you want to support us, that is how you support us. If you want to support us but you don't want to spend any money, absolutely fine. Please like, subscribe, comment and share this video or any of our videos. So that is the housekeeping out of the way. So what is our book? Our book is, and it's got green on the cover, so this is going to look weird. It is Toussiant L'Ouverture, the Haitian Revolution, and it has an introduction by, and I mention the introduction because you actually need that to really understand this book. Jean Bertrand Aristide, who was a former president of Haiti. So, Toussiant L'Ouverture, who is he? He was a major figure in the Haitian Revolution. He was a general, he was a statesman, and he was imprisoned by the French and died in French custody. Now, for a man who did those things, he started out life as a chattel slave. His father was a slave. His grandfather had been a prince of what is present-day Benin. He was an Arandan prince. So this man came from incredibly, to say humble origins is... it's not humble origins. He was an enslaved person. He was born an enslaved person, and yet he was able to gain freedom and then fight for the freedom of other people, his fellow people of Haiti. So he is a major figure of the Haitian Revolution, and this book is a selection of his writings. Now, when you consider that this man was born a chattel slave, his writing is remarkable. He didn't write himself. He had learnt to read. He had learnt to read, but he didn't actually write. He had secretaries, and he dictated his letters and his writings to those secretaries to write them down. This is a tiny selection of Toussiant L'Ouverture's writings. He was writing many letters. This is minuscule in comparison to what he was actually producing during his active years during the Revolution. Toussiant L'Ouverture's writings are obviously very concerned with the political situation and the gaining recognition of the Haitian enslaved people and trying to win them their freedom from the French authorities, because Haiti was a French colony. It was a very, very prosperous French colony, and the prosperity was built on the backs of chattel slaves. many, many times outnumbering at about 10 to 1 or slightly more than 10 to 1 the white inhabitants of the island, the slave owning class. So a massive population of enslaved people. Now, the Haitian Revolution took many years to accomplish. It had accomplished the release of the enslaved peoples was accomplished before the end of the revolution. It was ratified by the revolutionary French government, and what you see in these letters is a man who is speaking as a representative of his government to another government as an equal. As you can imagine, this caused a great deal of offence and upset among people of European governments, because here is a man of African descent, a former chattel slave, speaking to them as an equal, not begging for favours, but saying these are inalien human rights. These are rights that every man, regardless of colour, should have. So Toussiant L'Ouverture is very conscious of the importance of Haiti for the French economy. He is not advocating in his letters, he is not advocating to his followers or to the French government this takeover and abandonment of the colonial industries. These industries are what make Haiti rich, or it's what makes France rich, enormously rich. It is the richest colony France has at this time. And therefore, he is pragmatic enough to understand that, no, this we will need to work, but working as a wage-earning free person, not as an enslaved person. So that desire to have a stake in and a share of the wealth that is coming out of this colony, of having the work that these people, these enslaved people, these 500,000 enslaved people, having a stake and ownership over the work that they are doing through being free people and earning a living from this, not being enslaved. So you have various different ideas coming out of this book, the various different letters. The letters come from different points in his career as a statesman. When Napoleon took power in France, the relationship between Haiti and France shifted. Napoleon wished to reinstate chattel slavery and to re-enslave the black population of Haiti. And this is, and I'm not an expert in this, but this is, it appears, what ultimately led to the complete overthrow of French rule in Haiti, is this European attitude of, well, we can get this back under control, not, well, we have to respect this group of people as our equals. All the equality, fraternity, liberty of the French Revolution did not seem to, for Napoleon and for many other people, extend to their black and brown brothers. So this little book constitutes a sampling of Toussiant L'Ouverture's writings. Now, at the end, there is what is his memoir. It is a piece that he wrote while imprisoned, trying to exonerate himself, justify his actions to a military authority. Everything, obviously, in a book of primary sources must be read as primary sources. They are contextually bound. Now, this book is not something that it's really easy to read on its own. Each of the letters is given an introductory paragraph, but I struggled to read this work without, just cold. I had bought this book because, oh, that sounds interesting. Not because I knew anything about the Haitian Revolution or any of these people. So what this is sort of something that you would have as supplementary to a historical book about it. Though I also read the introduction to this, which is interesting, and it talks very much about how the writings of Toussiant L'Ouverture can benefit modern day Haiti, how there is a difference between being an ex-slave and having a slave mindset, which the introduction talks about how L'Ouverture managed to overcome having been an enslaved person. He managed to overcome having the mindset of an enslaved person, which is not the case for many of the people surrounding him. And as a result, this led to issues in terms of internal fights within the revolutionary elites, but it also led to ongoing issues within Haiti all the way up to today. So it is interesting because it is the introduction also talks to the neo-colonial mindset that seems to still have difficulty in relating to leaders of countries or influential people of countries that are in the global south or are basically non-white countries as proper equals, as fully equal countries. So it is very interesting in that regard. One of the other things that struck me when I was looking at this book was the fact that this book does a deal in terms of highlighting this contradiction. Is Toussiant L'Ouverture is not a perfect person. He had flaws. He had things that he did that were not the best, even, and that undermined his ideals of freedom and equality. But so does everyone. So does everyone. One of the things that I think that is a continual problem. It is a continual problem. It still is a problem that plagues people who are from not the powerful elite. Is so minority groups, indigenous people, racial minorities, all sorts of any kind of minority, sexual minorities, is that the demand of perfection Toussiant L'Ouverture was not perfect, and subsequent history has used his imperfections, his human flaws, as an excuse to paint him as bad. Now, think of any European or white colonial ruler. How much grace do we give them? How much grace do we give to people of European descent for being flawed, for having a great idea but having poor implementation? We give so much grace to those people. But the moment that you put a member of a minority group, a member of a less privileged group into that position, God help them if they're not perfect. And I think that that is a major struggle for having a fair historical record for a great many people. But Toussiant L'Ouverture is one man who has particularly had issues in terms of this. So it is he looks as if he is a very fascinating person. I don't have enough historical context to read these letters properly. My knowledge of the Haitian Revolution has been, oh look, here's a book that Janice read and here's this other book, and that is literally it. So in order to understand this book properly, it does need a much, much more thorough understanding of this particular country and this particular period in this country's history. The lack of grace, going back to that, was something I was thinking of, in particular in terms of the book that Janice had a look at. Because that book is not written by a black author. That book is written by a white author. And that does influence the focus of that book. Is the Haitian Revolution as chaotic as the book Janice looked at? Or is that the bias that says if it is not European, therefore it must be absolutely perfect and pristine, or it will be invalidated? And I think that that is an interesting context to bring to that book, should you have a look at that as well. Because how do you expect a group of people who have been economically and educationally and culturally disadvantaged deliberately to get everything perfect first try? The fact that a man with the background that L'Ouverture had is able to speak like a statesman, is able to speak to foreign government, well, actually it's his own government, French government. He is not seeking entire independence from France. He does understand the political situation, that there are other colonial governments that if they do not have French protection, that his country will be preyed upon by the Spanish and the English. So he is not seeking this complete severing with France, but a recognition of identity, equality, and freedom. So it is a very much more nuanced, I think you can take a much more nuanced look at this than I think certain things are looking at this. I think that it is interesting, but again, I require more context to understand this. Some of these letters are almost impossible to read without that context, because you read them and think, who? What? I have no idea. But as a source of primary sources of important documents from the writings of Toussiant L'Ouverture, this is a nice little start. And that's about it for this week. I said we were going to be a bit short and sweet. I'm not sure what I'm going to bring next time. I'm not sure if it's going to be something short or long. If it's long, it's going to be a while between reads because I'll have to get reading. We could go back and do some more Pope or Johnson or Swift. I'm sure there is some more in there to have a look at. Otherwise, we will go along the shelf and find something else of interest for the Georgian Book Club. So until then, goodbye. If you would like to support this channel, come across to the Black Cockie Press website, www.blackcockiepress.com.au, where you will find books and other writing services to help with your writing.